So with that, about smiles, the next speaker, Brittany's going to be talking about the smile, the Duchesne smile. Let's give it up for her.
Good morning, everybody. I was invited to join you by my father, Jonathan Roob. He must love every single one of you so much that he allowed you to take a break from him and introduce you to me.
Yeah!
And there's that smile. My dad is incredible at getting people to open up in front of the camera. What I was going to talk about today really is kind of on the cusp. I'm listening to a lot of you talk about I heard a lot of information about generations, a lot of information about family businesses, right? Chuck, you've been in business for what, 4 years? Four generations?
4 generations.
4 generations. The Brents, you guys are what, 2 generations now?
47
years, and you cleaned my parents' carpet. Thank you very much, because I have a black hole.
You cleaned your grandfather's.
And my grandfather's. So you guys, thank you for that great transition. My grandfather, Walter Roob, started the business in 1939. That was a little bit before I was born. Okay. We're going on 84 years of business, and I'm so excited to finally thank you to Sarah Deacon for giving me this idea. I finally stepped into what I was meant to do and follow along in the family tradition. So I'm 3rd generation in the family photography business. My authority is bridging the gap from social media, which is the big thing nowadays, to the past generations, like Al, who my grandfather photographed your wedding in what year?
69.
1969, you guys. So my grandfather photographed his wedding in 1969. My father and I are still photographing weddings today. I am the one that helps calm the brides, keep the brides from becoming bridezillas, helping them understand that this day is not only for them, but it's also for everybody else, okay? Bridging that gap from the Als of the world. We don't need to mention how old you are, but we want to bridge the gap from you to the Dannys of the world. I don't need to mention how old you are either. But here's the thing, you guys. Nowadays, everybody is, as Bill said, a photographer. Everybody has a camera at the end of their hand. Anybody can say, hey, look at me and smile. But as we know from what Mr. Fung just said, the smile really has to be true to the person that's being photographed, right? So that is what my dad has been able to continue on after all these years. Bridging the gap from 1st generation with my grandfather, 2nd generation with my dad, 3rd generation with me. My biggest goal is to help every single person understand the difference between capturing your cell phone, selfie, versus having the real portrait taken by somebody who is a master at what they do, okay? I love watching, here's one thing. I have been in this industry for almost 40 years, believe it or not. I have been in this industry for almost 40 years. I went to school in Italy. I know the arts. I have my degrees in all of the painting and design and whatnot. I can teach about photography. I may not be able to pass a test on it, but I can teach it. I can teach the interaction and the connectiveness. Nowadays, fake smiles, or this kind of, what do they call that? Frog lips? Duck lips. That is not real, okay? Nobody wants to have duck lips blown up on their wall. Well, I don't know, some people might, but I wouldn't want it on their wall, right? Watching these women and these men come into our home studio, or watching us go on location to interact with these people, many times we hear, oh, I hate having my photograph taken. Oh, that's my bad side. Oh, can I just turn this way? Oh, don't get my double neck. Oh, and they have all these insecurities. As soon as they are able to interact with my dad or myself, everything just calms down. A quick moment. How many minutes do I have? 2. Okay, good. We met a woman at the bridal show not too long ago, and she instantly fell in love with the energy that my dad and I bring. If you know anything about him, he has high energy. If you know anything about me, I am almost identical to him, except I have a little bit more of a systematic way that I can flow through business very seamlessly, right? So we're speaking with this bride at this bridal show. I could tell she was a little nervous. She probably had never been in front of the camera before. And she just really wasn't feeling confident, okay? So my dad said, let's get you in front of the camera. She calls us, she ends up booking a session, and come to find out this was actually her second session that she had photographed by a photographer. The first photographer, point and shoot, took a couple photos. She was not very happy with what they looked like. She couldn't make a decision, and ultimately the photographer said, sorry, too late, you're out of luck, the photos have vanished. Okay, if anyone knows anything about digital photography nowadays, it's kind of hard to do. But she ended up calling us. She got in front of the camera with my dad. She ended up crying after the first photo. My dad turned around, showed her the back of the camera. She started crying because she felt so good about how she looked. Okay, being able to connect her feelings and having my dad be able to portray her genuine side to have her feel good about herself. That is what my dad does. 1 minute. What I want to share with you guys is this. It's really important to have your best face forward, and it's not always for you. It's for the next generation who may not remember what the grandfathers look like. It's for Al's grandchildren to be able to look back on those photographs from 1969 to say, oh my God, that's what my grandfather looked like. It's for me. My grandfather passed away 8 years ago. All I have left are photographs, okay? Make sure that you guys take that into consideration. Don't wait until, we just went to a funeral on Sunday. The bride of the man who passed away says, if you find any photos of him, can you please send them our way? You guys, don't wait until it's too late. Don't worry about how you look like. Put all of your insecurities aside, because the reality of it is these photos are not for you. They are for the next generation, okay? Brittany Roob, third generation, Jonathan's Portraits. Thank you for listening to me.
Yay!